Okay, oh, animal control facility update, okay. So just a quick review, we were contacted by Suffield, who currently provides animal control officer and animal control facility, or pound facilities to East Granby, who pays, I believe, $16,000 per year. Suffield approached us and said, would we be willing to handle theirs as well as East Granby? And East Granby was on board with that. And I told them that we would look into that, discuss it. We did discuss it, we even a motion. Suffield was really under the gun because not only is their pound in, I guess, fairly rough condition, but their full-time ACO was on extended disability, and it didn't look like he was going to be returning. And their part-time was also out on a disability. Since we've spoken last, the part-timer has returned, so Suffield has agreed to continue, and they feel that they can continue to provide, in the short term, their own service and East Granby service. But they'd like to look at the big picture and continue this process for the long term. It just, the pressure got removed a little bit for them, which is fine. It's better to make those types of decisions in a little time. So what the three first selectmen have decided to do is they set a goal of 90 days to try and come up with a proposal that works. I did some calculation. I believe I sent those a copy of what I wrote to the first selectman to each of you regarding the numbers and how they work out. And our chief of police believes that if we enter into this type of arrangement, although we have the capacity to do so physically at the pound, that two part-time ACOs, which we currently have, would be insufficient, which makes sense. And that probably one full-time, one part-time would be the ideal arrangement, which doesn't make the numbers work as good for us, because then you bring in the benefits, pension, all those things that go with the full-time. It's still to the good. We still would make, we would still be an income generator as opposed to an income, loser for the town, but it's not quite as good as it might be, if they were all part-timers. But so where we are now is we're exchanging more data. We've exchanged all the information we have regarding impoundments, and there doesn't appear to be any problem with having the capacity to serve all three communities based on the number of impoundments we have now. However, I did include in there that in the rare situation where suddenly we were at capacity, the agreement would have to provide the Windsor Locks residents have first dibs, and then any overage that would otherwise go to a kennel, which is the way it is now, would be for the out-of-town animals first. I thought that was only fair to the citizens. So that's not really a firm proposal. That's something I threw out there as a consideration. Suffield has also provided us with their call data, how many incidents they have. Their first selectman has some strong reservations as to the accuracy of her own data as terms of number of calls. She believes that the calls were being reported, the same call or same incident was sort of getting reported 2 and 3 times. If a call came in and then that was recorded, and then when the call was returned, that was recorded as a separate incident, and perhaps in an effort to justify, hours or something along those lines. I'm restating hers. So she tends to discount their call volume, and I tend to believe, because based on my understanding of our call volume, being towns of fairly similar population, it was nowhere close. So there may be something to that. But we're now compiling our own call. We had our impoundment data, but we didn't have our call data. That's supposed to be in sometime early this week, and I'm going to share that with the other first selectmen. Okay. Once we have all the information shared, then we're going to get back to the negotiating. So there's nothing new to report there.
When does the 90 days end?
Oh, I don't know. This is last week.
So we just started.
June, July. Yeah, so around the end of May. Yeah, so around the end of the middle of the summer.
Okay.
But that's not any, a firm, although if we we're gonna do it, maybe starting it on the new fiscal year might not be the worst time to start it. But it's not anything, that's just a sort of a working, working guide as to where we wanna move forward with that.
I don't feel really, I'm not really excited about the opportunity. I just feel like I have some reservations about why we want to do it.
Yeah.
Works fine the way it is now.
Right, we're the ones, you're right, it's a good point. We're the ones that were kind of in a comfortable position right now.
I don't know why we would ever consider a full-time position there.
Well,
and be quote unquote stuck with it, as I said before,
Yeah.
If we have less dogs. If Suffield decides, well, you know what, we're gonna build our own, we're gonna deal with it in our own town, they can pull out any time presumably.
Well, there's one reason that we might want to consider it is because we do not have full-time, we have 2 part-timers, but that doesn't translate into full coverage.
Mhm.
So it falls back to police officers if the animal control officer is not available.
But we have room in our kennels, so how much volume is there?
We have room in the kennel for an impoundment, but if there's a dog in my neighborhood and it needs, you gotta come check it
The
out.
police have to do it, yeah.
The police have to do it, so it's gonna cost us more, especially if it involves overtime hours and things like that. Theoretically, we could save some money there, which would be hard to quantify.
Mm.
But if just in the basic deal itself, if we were able to save significant amount of money, that would be a reason to look at that. Tonight, I think it's probably the only reason to really seriously consider it. Because if whatever we put on the table ends up with a significant savings to the town of Windsor Locks, then it should be looked at least explored. So if it doesn't, then we probably drop it and move on,
All right, well, we'll wait till.
So we'll see what
Yes.
comes out of it,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. I mean, if you feel strongly that it's not worth even pursuing at this point, and just shut it down now, I could do that, but I
feel
always like
that
to
way,
see
but
the
I don't
numbers
have all the
first.
information,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
might as well wait till we get the numbers.
Okay.
How do you feel?
I think you should talk with it again and see what the possibility is.
Yeah.
So there is under the statute a provision for regional animal control arrangement. But to my way of thinking, that's not gonna really result in the financial savings. Then it'll probably be a prorated or some type of participation. I'm looking for a deal
Yeah,
that's better than that,
yeah.
and that we could save, significantly more money. And because of the fact that we happen to have a new facility with a lot of capacity, then we should maybe be able to translate that into some taxpayer savings. So if we can get something on the table that does that, we'll come back and we'll talk about it and we'll decide.
Sounds good.